Okay, we're going to do a review of one of my favorite actors in the horror genre, Vincent Price. Growing up when I was a kid, this guy acted in some really, really cool movies. Here's a few of his more popular movies. This is before my time, 1954, The Mad Magician. And I know there's a lot of magicians that are watching this. So if you have a chance to watch this movie, if you never did, Ava Gabor's in there, so you'll recognize her right away. 1954 classic. I mean, he does a really, really good job. Typical uh, Vincent Price in there. I don't want to give away too much. You're going to have to see it. All right, and let's see. He did a lot of movies with the Edgar Allan Poe uh, theme to it. Here's The Pit and the Pendulum, 1961. That was a really good one as well. So if you're into Edgar Allan Poe, he did quite a few. One was The Raven, and I don't have pictures of all of these, but he did some really cool ones. He did The House of Usher, like I said, The Pit and the Pendulum, The Mask of Red Death. And here's something, this is probably one of my favorite Vincent Price movies. This is The House of Wax. All right, now this was in 3D. You could tell by watching the movie that it was originally in 3D because there's different parts. There's a guy with the paddle balls who's knocking the ball off the paddle board and it's coming right at the screen. So you can see that that was originally filmed in 3D. Excellent, excellent movie. All right. A Comedy of Terrors is another good one. This was 1963. All right. And you know what? I like to look at the cast of characters. Most of them have passed on, but there's a few that are still alive. Excellent, excellent. And it is there's a comedic part to this, and of course Boris Karloff is in there as well. So you'll really get a kick out of this movie if you never saw it. All right, my all-time favorite movie is The Abominable Dr. Phibes. Now I saw this in 1971 when it came out. It was brand new, and this movie scared me bad, but it's so cool. I love the whole premise behind it. It's a guy who wanted revenge of the doctors that operated on his wife, Victoria, who was played by Carolyn Monroe. She had a non speaking part. She just pretty much laid there and it showed her once in a while. And it showed a picture. But anyway, he got back at all the doctors that he blamed for her death. She died on the operating table. All right. And 1 year later, 1972, Dr. Phibes rises again. Uh, Probably not as good as the original. I mean, how many sequels really are? And they actually reused some of the characters, like Terry Thomas, who died in the first one, but in the second one, he was in there a completely different character. Really bizarre. The thing I did want to mention is in the first Doctor Phibes, he had an assistant who was a woman. Her name was Volnavia in the movie. That was Virginia North. She could not do the sequel. She was pregnant, from what I read. So they had another girl play her. Her name was Velly Kemp, I believe, who played Volnavia. A little bit about Vincent Price. He was born in 1911 and he died in 1993. He was born in St. Louis, Missouri, and he was the youngest of four children. A couple of fun facts about Vincent Price was he graduated from Yale University in 1933. He was a great cook, a gourmet chef, and he published several books on that subject. And he was an art connoisseur, so he knew a lot about art. If you go on YouTube, you can search him on the Johnny Carson show. Very entertaining. He seemed like he had a great sense of humor. Seemed like a very nice man. He was a tall man. If you watch him next to Johnny Carson and everybody, he towers over them. He's about 6'4", I believe. But he was a really fantastic individual, and I absolutely love his movies. Later on, I guess about a decade before he died or so, maybe 15 years, he was on the Brady Bunch. And he did a cameo on there, and of course he did the Thriller for Michael Jackson. His voice. I mean, what other voice could you possibly use except Vincent Price? But in his honor, we're going to do a card trick, and this has to do with the Raven. I have a pack of playing cards here, and we can give them a shuffle. And I'm just going to basically pop a card out. It doesn't matter which one. All right, in this case, we have the Ace of Clubs. and I'm going to cut the card back into the pack. Now, if you're watching to this cage type of contraption, we have a pack of cards, and there's a raven on top, and I'll stand completely back. Let's see what happens. Oh my goodness. The Ace of Clubs is indeed slowly rising. So there you have a classic card trick right there. And let's see if I can get this open. And I can actually take that card out. There you go. And here's the Ace of Clubs. All right, thanks for stopping by. I hope you've learned a little bit about one of the greatest actors in the horror genre, which is Vincent Price. Thanks for stopping by, guys.